Yo, what's up, everybody? I know y'all ain't used to seeing me here. Y'all used to seeing me on the watch-alongs, but I'm here tonight for the post show with my boy DC over here. How we doing, brother?
Hey, what up, Cory? I'm doing good, man. It's just, we needed to call that pinch hitter, man. We needed that Barry Bonds back, so we had to make that call.
Yeah, we had to. Tonight was a decent episode of NXT. Not my favorite, but not the worst either. I guess it had its hits and it had its misses. I don't think there was any grand slams tonight on the show. I think the main event was pretty good, but other than that, I don't really think there was anything that stood out that much. There was a great singles match in the middle of the show. We'll talk about everything. But there was a great singles match in the middle of the show with you had Tavion Heights and Javon Evans. It was a solid singles match there. Yeah, but it was decent show. Double taping tonight. Double taping because next week they're giving them the week off. They get the week off for 4th of July. And the production team is going to Saudi Arabia. So they get the week off next week for 4th of July week, which is great. It's good to know that their talent get to relax some and not have to push themselves as much, even though they're really only in the PC, but they get to go have a little bit of time off. So that's what really matters. That's what really matters there.
Oh yeah, it was a decent show tonight. Like you said, it was. I think you nailed it. I think you nailed the best part of the night, and that was Tavion Heights getting his shine tonight. Someone that I think deserves more matches and more spotlight, a little bit more just solo time. I'm looking forward to his solo run and kind of breaking away from the group.
Yeah, they're building to it. Obviously, you can see they're not going to make it easy like they made it easy for Miles Bourne. Miles Bourne got off easy. They had Miles Bourne get out of there by beating Charlie Dempsey, but they're not going to make it that easy. I think we'll talk about it, what happened and what I think the route is for that. But that and the main event were probably the best parts of tonight. And we'll talk about the show kicked off with on NXT with the TNA World Champion Trick Williams putting the title on the line against Josh Briggs. Santino Marella made this match official after Yoshiki Inamura pinned Trick Williams last week. He pinned him last week, and that's what Inamura gave his title opportunity to Josh Briggs. So Josh Briggs got the title opportunity tonight. And that match wasn't that bad. Josh Briggs was putting on tonight some things that I never saw before out of him. I feel like it was a different motivated Josh Briggs. And ultimately Trick Williams retained the TNA World Championship, which is expected. Trick Williams wasn't going to drop the TNA World Championship to Josh Briggs. Yeah. No. Hi, hola. Yeah, he wasn't going to drop the world title to Josh Briggs, but it was a good match for what it was. Yep. You had some hits in that match. Josh Briggs, like I said, you had Josh Briggs had a few close calls in the match. So I thought there were some opportunities that I thought that maybe he would get the job done, but knowing the whole story of what they're building between TNA and NXT right now, I knew he wasn't going to get the win. But it was good for what it was. That little filler to open up NXT tonight, and then as the show started, after that match, Trick Williams cuts a promo. Trick Williams grabs the mic, cuts a promo. The promo leads to Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry appears out of nowhere. You say his name, he appears every time.
Who said his name this time, man? Damn.
Trick said his damn name. Yeah, Trick said his name. He appeared. Bodyslam had the scoop before the show that Joe Hendry was scheduled for the double tapings. He appeared in this segment. He has a match next week, which we'll talk about. But it was like I said, he got some offense in after the match, took him out with a clothesline over top rope, and just does what Joe Hendry does in the ring and celebrate staring down Trick Williams on the outside. Yeah, they keep talking about Joe Hendry challenging for the TNA World Championship again, but let's just be honest. It's not going to be a singles match.
No,
Joe Hendry's not just challenging Trick Williams.
No,
it's not going to be a singles match.
Who else is getting their shot?
It's not going to be a singles match. They're throwing Mike Santana into that match.
I hope so.
He's getting his shot at the title in New York too. It's brewing. What they're doing on TNA. You kind of have to watch both shows to understand what's going on. Mike Santana. TNA did a little sneak preview for this week's episode of Impact. It aired on Friday as they were airing it live at the tapings. So I got to watch this week's episode already, and it was good.
Nice.
It was good, and Mike Santana is going to have something to say about that TNA World Championship. So it's all leading. He's going to get added to the match, and we're going to have a triple threat there. And the two people that were on NXT tonight, neither one of them are walking out with that championship.
I don't think so either.
Neither one of them are walking out with the championship. Mike Santana is going to get his revenge on Trick Williams. And so. Joe Hendry's going to go to do something else, whatever the hell he's going to do in TNA until his contract expires and he goes to WWE. Because at this point, he did what he needed to do there.
Yeah. Since he's already been in NXT, does Joe Hendry go to NXT or straight to the main roster?
He's going to go to the main roster. There's Jordan Grace has a main roster contract too. So it kind of like her. The only difference is she only appeared in NXT a few times while she was under TNA contract. Joe Hendry has appeared on WWE a plethora of times. Both the main roster. He appeared on the main roster at the two of the four biggest PLEs that they have every single year. And he's also done a lot of work in NXT. So I think when he ultimately signs with WWE in 2026, I think that he's going to go straight to the main roster because he's a character, and it seems like they want a lot of their characters now on the main roster. So I think that's where Joe Hendry is going to end up when he does sign that WWE contract.
But he ain't winning no TNA championship. We know that.
Nope, he already had his opportunity.
Yep,
he had his opportunity.
Mike Santana.
Yeah, that's who's going to dethrone. The next segment we had was Miles Bourne in the back with several Florida Gator players talking football, talking trash about my Florida State Seminoles. He got me. He ain't talking trash about my Florida State Seminoles with the Gators in the house. It had that ugly ass Florida Gators championship on their shoulder. Ugly shit. Throw it in the trash, burn it, do something with it. But they were hyping up the season because the season's coming up in 2 months. Yep. So I guess they get them to get some TV time just to make an appearance there. But Lexis King comes up and interrupts them. And Lexis King makes the joke about Miles Bourne can't hear him, trying to get in touch with him. He called the Florida Gators losers.
Yep.
So that basically sets up a match for next week's NXT taping. It's going to be Miles Bourne versus Lexis King next week. And it would the segment pretty much was just a setup for next week's match, which will be Miles Bourne's first match outside of the No Quarter Catch crew. He will have a new theme song next week, which I also posted it on Twitter. He will have a new theme song next week. So, and it's good. It's a good theme song. People are going to like it. They're not going to say Def Rebel fucked it up. People are going to like his theme song. So.
They also can't say that Miles don't like it because he can't hear it. I'm sorry, I had to. My bad. I had
to. Oh my goodness! But we go from that segment, we go into Javon Evans versus Tavion Heights. Yes. And before the match, there was a segment recorded earlier today with the No Quarter Cats crew. Charlie Dempsey injured Tavion Heights, and Tavion Heights had to wear a special mask in this match because during training, he injured him, and he got a facial injury. So he's wearing a mask, and he toughed this match out. Was, like I said, this in the women's was probably the best 2 matches on the card tonight. This one going back and forth, it had you thinking Tavion was going to get the win. Also, ultimately, Javon Evans goes over, gets the win, and Tavion Heights is still in the no quarter catch crew for now. He's going to break out of his shell, but for now, he's still in the no quarter catch crew. Charlie Dempsey doesn't want to let him go. The no quarter catch crew, they talked about it. He doesn't want to let him go. Charlie Dempsey. That's why he was scared to face him one-on-one. He does not want to let him go because he knows Tavion Heights will beat him. But Tavion Heights getting showcased on the show needs to happen all the time. He's ready. He's ready, just like Miles Bourne was ready. That the men's division needs them as singles competitors. You can't put them back there in the stable, have them sitting there wondering what the next move is. You got to have them competing, whether it's for the North American Championship or the NXT Championship. They're 2 incredible talents. Tavion Heights, the run in the N1 really solidified the type of talent that Tavion Heights is. And I think it's long overdue that it's time for him to leave the no quarter catch crew. It's time for him to go.
Tonight was another opportunity for him to display himself, and it was a good thing that he got put against Javon Evans. Like, that's a perfect matchup to showcase not only his abilities but Javon to show out too. I thought that was the match of the night. I know a lot of people are going to say the women's fatal 4-way match at the end, the main event.
It was good. The women's, we'll talk about it, but this one was a, like I said, this one was a banger. I really enjoyed it.
I love what happened after too with Jasper Troy, my boy.
Yeah, that was out of nowhere.
My boy.
Jasper Troy comes in and attacks Javon Evans out of nowhere. I guess he's out here making statements, trying to make a name for himself since winning season 1 of LFG. He did it at the expense of Obafemi. Now he's doing it at the expense of Javon Evans. So shout out to Jasper Troy, big man. Big meaty man, he's
fucking huge.
He's huge. I've seen him in person. That's a monster.
Yeah,
that's a monster. And he's I'm kind of looking forward to seeing if there's something that's going to play out between the 2 of them, because why would they randomly have him attack Javon Evans?
Right.
I'm thinking that something is coming out of that. I think Javon Evans and Jasper Troy are going to have a program. Maybe that'll be a match that gets added to WWE Great American Bash.
Let's go.
Maybe that's a match. But we'll talk about, because we're going to talk about Jasper Troy again. Yep. So we'll talk about potentially. Yeah, we'll talk about potentially what's going to happen in a little bit. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But for now, no quarter catch crew is still complete, minus Miles Bourne. So we're there. We get a recap. The next thing is we get a recap of the family stuff that's been going on. Thoughts to Noam Dar once again. Brother cannot catch a break.
Jeez,
injury after injury after injury. Can't catch a break. He comes back after nearly a year and wins back the NXT Heritage Cup Championship on the NXT after Stand and Deliver after WrestleMania. And they really don't do anything with the Heritage Cup Championship since then. He appears in a few backstage segments. He wrestles dark matches. I've seen him. I saw him wrestle a few dark matches before NXT. But he ultimately has to relinquish the Heritage Cup Championship. And now you have later in the night, you have Tony D'Angelo versus Channing Stacks Lorenzo for the NXT Heritage Cup Championship. And it's all business there. Tony D doesn't know who he can trust anymore. Luca got him the match, so Tony D doesn't know exactly who he can trust anymore. That match, we'll talk about that when it comes up, but we got the video package of that. The next match that happens on the show is Ricky Saints, who's recently been cleared from his throat injury that he suffered at the hands of Ethan Page. That nasty shot with the steel chair. I was at that TV taping. That was nasty. That was nasty. He did that. I forget what does Ethan Page call? What is his version of the Twist of Fate? What does he call it? It's got a name that's for him. Yeah, he did the Twist of Fate onto the steel chair, onto the bottom of the steel chair.
I thought it was Ego's Edge is what I thought.
No, that's the Razor's Edge. That's the Razor's Edge that he does. He trying to see
Twisted Smile.
Yeah.
Twisted Smile.
That's what it is. He did that to Ricky Saints a few weeks ago, resulting in him winning the NXT North American Championship from Ricky Saints. It was nasty. Ricky was out of action for a few weeks with a legit injury.
Yeah.
Legit injury. He was actually injured. You saw those are when they show X-rays and stuff on this. Those are legit X-rays that they're showing.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was legit injured, but
Man.
now he's back now. And this match that he's in tonight was set up from a backstage segment last week. You have Ricky Saints versus Ashante the Adonis.
Yep.
If you notice during the match, Ashante had a QR code on his clothes.
I've seen that.
Yeah, and it goes, I think to a PayPal. I think
that's what I seen on Twitter. It was a PayPal.
A PayPal. Yeah, went to a PayPal.
Yeah,
and it's for him and his hose. is what I heard. That's what the PayPal's for.
That's what Twitter said.
Him and his hose.
Yep.
That's which
he's the NXT's godfather, apparently.
I guess so. The stuff that he's posting on social media makes me believe that.
Dude,
a lot of crazy stuff that he posts on there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this match was fairly decent. Ashante the Adonis got a lot of the offense in during this match, but Ricky Saints ultimately walks away with the W. He walks away with he hit the Rochambeau on him for the 1-2-3. After the match, Ethan Page pops up on the Titantron. He says something to Ricky. The feed freezes, and he attacks Ricky Saints from behind. He played mind games with Ricky Saints, attacked him from behind. He hit him with his own Rochambeau, which it looked nasty. It looked like the neck, something happened to his neck there, the way he landed. But yeah, he hit the Rochambeau on Ricky Saints, which, like I said, it was nasty the way he hit. But they're having their problems. Ava's sick of it. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Ava is sick of it, but Ethan Page stands tall after that segment. We get a vignette of Dark State. Dark State talks about, basically, they say that you haven't seen us much, but that doesn't mean we're not making moves. You'll see us real soon. And I know what they're talking about. I know if you're following, they're not talking about NXT. No. They're not popping up. They're not popping up in NXT. In one of the future weeks on TNA, Dark State pops up on TNA. So you're gonna have to watch TNA to see Dark State pop up. They've got some stuff they're cooking with this interpromotional stuff right now. Dark State will be appearing on TNA within the next few weeks of their TV. So keep an eye on that if you're a Dark State fan. If you like Dark State. If you want Dark State, they'll be on TNA. Well, I think they'll be on NXT. I think they'll have like tonight. They had a video segment. I think they'll do that too, recapping and whatnot. But they'll be on TNA. They appeared at two tapings this past weekend, so I think you'll see them. Then the ruler makes his way. The ruler makes his way to the ring. I love that entrance. Bro, his entrance, it kills me. So much aura. Yes. He's got all the aura. You got the presentation with him, the lights, everything. You got the crowd. You got the crowd chanting with him. It's the presentation. He does his little poses in the ring. He's got a lot. He's got a lot going on. But he comes in there and basically says, "I've seen everybody. I've seen the main roster. I've seen NXT. I've seen TNA. Everyone. I've been the champion since January. Put down everybody. Who wants it? Who wants it? Come and get it." And out comes Yoshiki Inamura. Remember, Inamura
not gonna lie, that was the last person I thought I would expect to come out. I was like, okay.
Remember last week when he told Josh Briggs, "I want bigger. I want bigger."
That's true. He did.
You go for the TNA championship. I go for the NXT championship, and he made his intentions well known tonight. He told Obafemi basically, "I went back home to Japan, but I just didn't feel right. I missed my best friend. I missed my partner Briggs. I missed this crowd, and I want your title. I came back because I want your NXT championship. Give me your NXT championship." Obafemi, and they have a little stare down. Inamura walks away out the ring, and here we go again. Jasper Troy attacks Inamura.
Back again.
Yeah, we said we were going to get back into him. Well, Jasper Troy attacked Inamura, got up on the apron, stared down Obafemi, which sets up a match for next week. Yoshiki Inamura versus the boy, Jasper Troy. The winner will face Obafemi at WWE Great American Bash for the NXT Championship. How do you feel about that?
I'm feeling great. I'm hoping Jasper Troy wins and we get a rematch, but I don't know. I don't know exactly what to expect out of this because I could see it happening both ways.
Yeah, definitely. I think the vision is Inamura going for that title because that's the direction they've been teasing on TV. But I can see Jasper Troy again getting in there. I ultimately think that Jasper Troy is going to get screwed over by Javon Evans though, because he attacked him.
Get his revenge from the night.
Yeah, I think he's going to get his revenge next week and cost him the match. But we'll see. But that match is made official for next week. They announce it later on in the show. So we're going to have big meaty men slapping meat next week on NXT. So get ready for that. You have, after that, you have a backstage segment with Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley talking about being at ringside with her for the Fatal 4-Way tonight. Tatum Paxley says yes, walks up. Sol Ruka and Zarya come up and they come up and say, "Don't listen to her, blah, blah, blah." Well, Sol Ruka says that. Zarya says if she wants to be her friend, let her be her friend because Zarya has some problems. She blames Tatum Paxley for costing her match last week when ultimately Tatum Paxley just wants some friends, man. All her friends have been released or sent to the main roster. So she just wants some friends, and she's lonely by herself right now. So after that happens, Izzy Dame takes Tatum Paxley over to the Culling to introduce her to the Culling. And Izzy Dame asks again, will Tatum Paxley accompany her to the ring? She says yes. She says, what about you guys? And the guys are like, we got our eyes on gold too. Yeah. We got our own plans, so we'll see you later.
Basically, you got this. You on your own.
Yeah, I think they have their eyes on the tag team championships.
Yeah.
I think they have their eyes on the NXT tag team championships. And we'll talk about that too because something happens later on too. Oh. And later on that we'll get into in a little bit. But yeah, they have their eyes on gold, it seems. They want to bring all the gold to the Culling. And then you have Trick Williams at the High Rise backstage. Trick Williams and the High Rise have a segment. Wesley informs Trick Williams that he's gonna whoop Joe Hendrix' ass next week. So that sets up another match for next week. We got Wesley versus Joe Hendrix.
Is funny, man.
Yeah, Wesley should not be in NXT still.
Nah, man. He should have been gone. I don't
Wesley is an evolved soldier now. They're trying to get over. I understand Tyson and Tyreek. I understand they're trying to get them over with Wesley as the guy, but he should be on the main roster by himself.
Yeah.
He tells Trick Williams that he's gonna whoop Joe Hendry's ass next week, and Trick tells him basically, "Yeah, you got this. You can take care of him. You guys got him next week. Right. Yeah, you got him. I'm cool with that. Go ahead, guys. You got this. I'll stay out of your way.
Yeah. Good luck."
Yeah, pretty much saying, you guys, you didn't have my back last week, so I'm gonna let you handle this. He's saying. Your shirt better not have sleeves, DC.
MDB, yeah.
The guns.
The guns, man. The guns is out. It's just that filter not showing it. Guns is always out, bro. That's my boy. Shout out MDB, man. That's my boy.
Then we got into the NXT Heritage Cup match now. Tony D'Angelo versus Channing Stacks Lorenzo. Stacks came out with some security guards. They're gonna be, I don't know who these guys are. They coming up in NXT something. These guys. This match was okay. Tony D gets the first fall. Stacks gets the second fall with a roll up because Tony D's knee has been targeted. And then the last fall comes courtesy of Stacks pinning Tony D and winning the NXT Heritage Cups championship. Stacks was able to get that last fall due to Luca Crucifino fighting with the security guys on the outside with the bucket. Hit Tony D. He hit Tony D with the bucket. Yeah, there's a lot
purposely,
of purposely,
intentionally, or accidentally.
That's the question. Question. Yeah, that is the question.
What you on, Luca? What you on, man?
We need to figure that out. The family is no more, obviously.
Mad different, ain't it? Man, Amanda got she got a mustache now.
Mustaching is some. How come none of the security looked Italian though? I can't answer that one. One of them looked like a Timu Roman Reigns. I don't know who the hell them people were.
He did though. He did.
Yeah,
he looked like them like cosplay.
Them ones that be dressing up at the Fanatics Fest and the Comic-Cons.
That was a horrible Roman Reigns, man.
Good Lord. Yeah, they but ultimately Stacks walks away the new NXT Heritage Cup champion. After the match, Ramon. Yeah, after the match, Tony D and Luca are in the ring together. Tony D decks Luca with the right hand and just stands over the top of him, pissed off that he lost his match. We go to the back. Sarah Schreiber is interviewing Fatal Influence, talking about how they ruined Blake Monroe's moment last week. Fatal Influence basically said she thinks that she can come in and try to take over this division from day one. She's wrong. We've been here. This is our division. Jacy Jayne talks about Evolution, how she was a fan of the first one, but she always wanted to be on Evolution. She knew if there was another one, she'd be on it. Mm-hmm. This one right here. That's basically the interview segment that we had with them. Jordan Grace is seen doing some pull-ups backstage, preparing for the Fatal 4-Way later tonight. We go to commercial. Come back from commercial. Thea Hale's talking to the LFG guys, one of which is her boyfriend. Yep. talking to her boyfriend and a few others from LFG, telling them about her trials and tribulations. And then she gets interrupted by Laney Reed. Laney Reed comes in and tells her she's getting played like a fiddle. Calm down. That really pisses off Thea Hale. Lash Legends comes in pretty much promoting the Fatal 4-Way. Says, watch how I do it. Watch how I get things done. Mm-hmm. And walks away. You see Thea Hale and Laney Reed in the background just staring at her, which it wasn't made official on NXT tonight, but that is going to be a match for next week. It's going to be Thea Hale versus Laney Reed next week on NXT. I posted that on Twitter too. That is a match that will be happening next week. And from what I've been told, it was a good match. Good match. They had a good match, and I don't doubt that because Laney Reed is outstanding, and Thea Hale as well. She's improved all the time that she's been in NXT. She just had this weird character that she's had on NXT. She needs to change it up. This I'm a grown ass woman does not work for me.
Yeah, that's man.
I don't know what they're doing with that, but she needs some kind of character change. Mm-hmm. But she's good in the ring. I like Thea Hale in the ring. Super. So I don't doubt the reports from people who were in attendance that it was a good match tape for next week. A muscle squirrel. A muscle squirrel.
Muscle squirrel. NDB is on one tonight.
That's good entertainment.
That's right.
After that segment, you had Ava and Ethan Page backstage talking.
Yep.
Ava tells Ethan Page that she's tired of this. She's tired of whatever the hell's going on with Ricky Saints and Ethan Page. Ethan Page says he's tired of it too. Ricky keeps pushing his buttons. Ava says next week they both need to go to her office, talking about Ethan and Ricky to take care of whatever's going on right now. Ethan says, we'll take care of it, but on my terms, and calls up the Vanity Project. He calls up the Vanity Project on the phone as he's walking away. Bodyslam was told this weekend that the Vanity Project had taped something for NXT this past weekend at an indie show. So that might be where this comes into play for the Vanity Project. So we'll see what happens there. Ava walks away from Ethan because she hears some commotion in the back. And in the back, we see Hank and Tank. Laid out on the ground. But what's next to him? A steel chair. Who is known for steel chairs in NXT? Sean Spears. We talked about the culling earlier, saying that they had their eyes on Championship Gold.
Got their eyes on Championship Gold.
It appears that the culling took out the tag team champions backstage. Ava doesn't know herself though, even though it's literally right in front of you, Ava. Ava has no clue who took them out, so she's gonna try to find out. Let's see. And then what else happened? Oh, Sarah Schreiber. Yep. Sarah Schreiber interviews Joe Hendry, talking about what's going to happen. Joe Hendry says that he thinks about Trick Williams beating him for the title every single night. And at Slammiversary, he's going to take the title back. He says Wesley forgot where he came from, but he's going to remind him next week.
Okay.
Meaning TNA. He's going to remind Desmond exactly where he came from.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming from TNA. Which I love. Like I said, I love that they intertwine between NXT and TNA. They don't insult the intelligence of the fans who watch and who know the history of what these superstars have had before WWE. Yeah. That's a good thing that this new regime is doing. They don't insult those who watch everything. Mm-hmm. If you're just a WWE fan, you wouldn't understand. But if you watch and you've watched TNA during the down period and during these last few years, you'd understand exactly what he's talking about with the Rascals and where he came from.
I'm with that, MDB. I'm with that all day.
A lot of people don't like Joe Hendry, but Joe Hendry's my boy. I'm not gonna say I'm good with that.
I'm good with that.
We after the interview, we're about to roll into the main event. You have you see Jada Parker coming out to her entrance. Izzy Dane gets her entrance, and we go to commercial. We come back from commercial, and we get a Chase U segment. Pretty much same shit that we're seeing every single week right now with Chase U. Yep. Andre Chase is sick of what Kel Dixon and Uriah Connors are doing right now, because they're the ones that want to Chase U to come back in the first place, but they've been disrespecting the universe. He tells him they need to respect his experience. Kel tells Andre Chase that the attitude created Chase U and destroyed it. So we'll see what's going to happen with this stuff that's going on with Chase U right now. I'm not exactly 100% sure what direction they're going here. Literally no idea. They said Chase U dead.
They know. Like at this point, I don't even think they do.
Chase U died. The original members, some of them got let go. Some of them are not. Two of them got let go. Yeah. After Rich Holland beat Andre Chase to disband Chase U, 2 were released. Thea Hale's still there, but doing God knows what the hell she's doing. Andre Chase has nothing going on for him. We'll see. We'll see what's going to happen now. So we'll see exactly how
Hopefully they're cooking something good.
I hope. Because I'm not
like,
gonna lie, I was a fan of the OG Chase U.
I was too.
I liked what they were doing with the OG
I did
Chase
too.
U. It felt different. It was a different thing. You had some solid talent in there. Riley Osborne, Duke Hudson. Shout out to both of them. NXT could really use Duke Hudson right now in the men's division. Shout out to him doing his work on the independent scene again right now.
Yeah.
Riley getting released while he's injured really sucked.
Mm-hmm.
They sent him to Evolve, and then they released him, which sucks.
Yeah.
But it's a numbers game, so unfortunately, if you're not, they have a system within NXT. Within NXT, they have a system where if you're not meeting the standard that we want, then within this time period, we're going to let you go. So that's how they make their decisions, along with money, another decision, money. But pretty much that's how they go. But yeah, Chase U, I want to see what the hell they're going to do with this, with Kale Dixon and Uriah Connors, because introducing them to TV, having them get into under Chase's head, reintroduce Chase U. What are we going to do? Who are the future people in NXT that are going to come from this new Chase U?
Yeah, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, because you had these students before in the original Chase U. You had the students in the class that hadn't been introduced on TV yet, and that's how they got them in with the NXT audience. So what are they going to do here? We'll see. We'll see what happens.
You're alone on that one, MDB. You're alone, bro. No, bring them back. Resurrect, baby. Resurrect them, baby.
Resurrect Chase U.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Then we get to the main event now. We get the main event is the Fatal 4-Way in the women's division. The winner will challenge for the NXT Women's Championship at WWE Evolution. The match is between Jada Parker, Izzy Dame, Lash Legend, and Jordan Grace. You had a lot of solid spots in this match. A lot of solid spots towards the end of it. Some near falls that I was like, damn, I thought that person was going to win. Jada Parker.
I thought she was going to win.
So I thought when she took out Jordan Grace, I was like, damn, she's going to pick up the win here.
Yeah.
She'll get the win. And Lash Legend continues to impress. Lash Legend, she has a lot of fans within WWE of hers. They just have not had her take that leap yet. I feel like in the tag division, she should have been tag team champion already. They should have had her and Jakara Jackson as tag team champions. Whether that was WWE tag team champions or TNA tag team champions, she should have had gold around her waist already. When they had her on the main roster those few months, showing her and Jakara as a tag team, and even her as a singles competitor, they had her do a few singles matches. She's a star. Lash Legend is a star. She's come a long way since NXT 2.0. Tonight was another outstanding showing from Lash Legend. Her power continues to impress the hell out of me.
Her coming out party was when she slammed Otis.
The stocks are going up.
Stocks going up. Price went up when she did that.
We got but that was so impressive. She's so powerful. That ending, I thought she was going to win it there. I thought she was going to get Jada Parker. Unfortunately, Jordan Grace comes in. Well, I'm not going to say unfortunately. Unfortunate for Lash Legend. Jordan Grace breaks it up, and then she gets the win. Jordan Grace is the number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship now. Jordan Grace is a very, very curious situation with me and a lot of people, because I mentioned it earlier on the show. She's on a main roster contract right now. She's lost multiple NXT Women's Championship matches. She has lost multiple. But she's a hell of a fucking worker.
Yeah.
She's a hell of a worker. She does not need to be in NXT anymore.
No.
And the word was that I had got a while back was that she was headed to SmackDown. Now she's fighting for the NXT Women's Championship again. So I've got to ask exactly what's going on, because WWE at this point, when it comes to roster moves, it's very weird. It's very weird, especially NXT to main roster call-ups. Very, very weird. If I had to guess, somebody's going up around SummerSlam. Same with Ricky Ethan. Somebody's going up out of the two of them. I think that's the ultimate end goal between the two of them is probably somebody, either Ricky dethrones Ethan or Ethan sends Ricky packing. Either way, somebody's going to the main roster between the two of them. Because they're both main roster talents, just sitting in NXT now. They don't need to be there
because
anymore.
If they don't go up by then or the draft, then they're gonna be stuck a whole nother year.
Yeah, so they don't need to be there anymore. Jordynne Grace does not need to be there anymore. They have all this talent waiting in the wings, which is what I tried to tell people when Stephanie Vaquer dropped the NXT Women's Championship to Jacy Jayne. They had all this talent waiting in the wings that was ready to go, and Stephanie was a given. I got told that same night she's going to Raw. She's out of there. She's not going to be on NXT anymore. People were wondering the same thing with Julia earlier this year, with Julia appearing on both shows, what her future was. She was supposed to go to Raw, but once they made the decision to bring Stephanie up, she went to SmackDown because they don't want both of them on the same show right now.
No,
that was a big problem when it came to NXT. Was you had both of them come in at the same time, and they kind of overshadowed each other. So they're doing their thing on the main roster now. You have Roxanne, you have Julia, and you have Stephanie doing their thing on the main roster. Jordynne was supposed to be joining them also, like I said. At this point, I really don't know what's going on with her. I'm going to try to find out. I don't want to find out before Evolution because I want to be surprised what happens coming out of that match.
With the outcome.
I want to know what's going to happen with the outcome before I ask these questions again. But she's so good, such a great worker. Her work outside of WWE and now her work in WWE, she deserves whatever comes her way. Do I think that she needs the NXT Women's Championship? I do not. Like I said, I think that she should be on the main roster. Jacy Jayne should hold this title for a little bit longer and drop it to Blake Monroe. Blake Monroe should be the one that dethrones her because Blake Monroe will be that talent that holds down NXT until next year. With the veterans that you are.
Jacy holding it for a while too would help Fatal Influence.
It would, but at the same time, I think at this point, Fatal Influence is on its last legs. I think they teased it, which led to the title win in the first place.
Yeah.
I think that they're on their last leg still because
really,
I do. Yeah, I think Fatal Influence is gonna fall apart over the summer, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's just a matter of time to watch the product and see what happens. Like I said, I don't want to, being that I get scoops and stuff, I don't want to know what happens with Jordynne Grace and Jacy Jayne. That's the one thing that I don't want to know because if she does win, then I will ask the question, what happened? Why did you guys end up keeping her? Fatal Influence is here to stay. Yeah, if she does win, I'll ask the question, what happened? But if she doesn't, I'll see what happened and what's next for her. But yeah, like we said at the beginning of the show, tonight was an up and down episode of NXT. It had its highs, it had its lows, and that's partly because tonight's a double taping. They were taping next week's episode also. Yeah, they were taping next week's episode as well. So the crowd was up and down for tonight's episode. I'm wondering how they're going to sound for next week because it's a long night at the PC tonight. But yeah, it was. I'd say probably I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10 tonight.
Yeah, I'd probably say 5.5. I'd go a little bit lower.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite. Like I said, it was the two matches that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, Javon and Tavion, and then the Fatal 4-Way saved it and gave
the NXT to kick off NXT. That TNA World Championship match was low key good, but it wasn't exactly great.
Yeah.
But those two matches were the ones that
if they would have started off with Tavion, Javon, started off with that could have changed, I think.
The pace of the show. Yeah. I feel like the show could have changed it. It just that's what a lot of people all over the ring.
Look.
All over the ring. I'm not gonna have no comment though. No comment here. But yeah, it for tonight, for what it was, the double taping, it was decent.
Yep.
I'm expecting with them getting close to WWE Great American Bash in 2.5 weeks away now?
2.5 weeks. Yep.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks away from Great American Bash and Evolution. With next week being taped, I think it's gonna pick up a little bit between segments because it's taped. People already have spoilers out there. So next week is taped. Spoilers are already out there. I think that you're going to have that going. Next week's going to get a little bit more interesting. And then the following week, the go-home show before Great American Bash and Evolution. I think that show is going to be the big one. That's going to be the big one heading into those two shows. And I think we're in for a big summer when it comes to the women's division again.
Let's go. Evolution. Yeah. Evolution's coming up. NXT's the only show teasing it so far. So
literally the only show that has anything announced for it right now.
Anything. So.
And that's sad because there was some stuff that was already supposed to be announced on the main roster.
Yeah.
And unfortunate that it got postponed, pushed back due to Liv Morgan's injury. A lot, which is another thing I dropped on Patreon today. Some more injury.
Yeah, I was gonna say definitely promote that before we get off here. Promote that real quick.
The Patreon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put it. Give me a sec. It's right there. If you want to go ahead and support us at the Bodyslam team, our Patreon is where the insiders of Bodyslam will drop some news for you guys. We drop exclusive interviews. Last week, Cassidy Haynes had an interview with Akira, the first interview since he became a free agent. What's next for him? What he's got going on. I'm scheduling some interviews for July coming up, so I'm going to have some exclusive stuff going on there. Today, we dropped a few exclusives. We had the news drop that Chad Gable has an undisclosed injury right now. No timetable or what it is that he's dealing with at the moment. I dropped news on what Liv Morgan's plans were over the summer, what was going to happen. Dropped news that Joe Hendry was at NXT tonight. We've had quite a few stories since we launched the Patreon over 2 weeks ago. I'd say it's been a good launch. If you guys could go ahead and support us there, the Patreon link is underneath. We would really appreciate it. Everybody at Bodyslam, all the Bodyslam content creators, the insiders, and Cassidy too, the Bodyslam founder, Cassidy Haynes. Shout out to my guy, Cassidy Haynes, for everything that he does for all of us. We wouldn't be here without him. So shout out to Cassidy for everything that he does for us here at Bodyslam and PWN. The PWN guys came in. We worked out a deal, got the PWN brand under the Bodyslam brand. So now we're all one. So shout out to everybody that's involved with Bodyslam. A lot of good stuff coming in the coming weeks, in the coming months. We're just getting started. So I greatly appreciate you guys. These shows, these post shows that people do on the Bodyslam channels, they are greatly appreciated, along with my watch-alongs that I do. Mainly, I haven't done watch-alongs this week. I've been a little burnt out. It's been a long.
Watch-alongs are tough, bro.
It's been a long week and a half, not just from the watch-alongs, but some other stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
So I've taken a break from them. This weekend, I'm thinking Saturday I'll be back for Night of Champions. Thinking I'll get back on here. Maybe SmackDown, but I think I'll be back for Night of Champions 100%. Back on doing the watch-alongs. Let's see. What else do I got? WWW. If you guys could go ahead and follow us on the Twitch, twitch.tv/bodyslamnet. Same thing on YouTube. Go ahead and give our YouTube subscribe to our YouTube. We would appreciate that. You guys are what keeps us going. So shout out to all of you guys for everything that you guys got going. We are the fans, for the fans, by the fans, pretty much. So we appreciate everybody that's tuned in to anything that we've done so far. Anybody that has supported us in any way possible. You guys are the best. Go ahead and, like I said, follow our Twitch channel, follow our YouTube. Our YouTube channel is the same thing. Everything should be BodyslamNet. Our TikTok, we got a TikTok. They're running videos on the TikTok now. We got some stuff coming there. I might start doing some content on the TikTok now too. Then we got obviously our Twitter. Bodyslam Net, the Twitter. Bodyslam MMA is another Twitter. On the MMA side, we have my socials are all the same except for TikTok. TikTok does not have an underscore, so you can follow me on all my socials, Instagram and Twitter is Cory _ Hayes 407. My TikTok is the same without the underscore. Where can they find you, Mr. DC?
Yeah, DC Hendrix on Twitter, official DC Hendrix on Instagram and TikTok, and DC Hendrix on Facebook. Pretty simple, and just like Cory here, you can catch me on Bodyslam as well. I'm going to start contributing with news articles as well. Talked to Cass about that earlier this evening too. So getting back in the writing world, and we'll be contributing there. So Bodyslam, and just search DC Hendrix, and you'll be able to find me everywhere. Appreciate it.
Let's do this, brother. It's time to take over.
Let's go.
Time to take over. Appreciate you for having me.
Our first time doing a show together, and we.
Yeah. Hey. Speaking of, before we sign off, let's talk about that.
Let's go.
We are going to be doing a weekly show together sometime in the near future that we're going to be discussing everything that happened in the wrestling world the entire week. So on top of me doing my watch-alongs, top of DC doing the NXT Post Show, on top of me doing Bodyslam with Cassidy, I'm going to be doing a show with my boy right here too. So get ready. We're going to have some stuff coming. Like I said, it's an exciting time. Shout out to Black Hawk, who's also going to be doing some work with Bodyslam too now.
Yeah, Black Hawk.
Appreciate you, brother. I will get in touch with you soon about setting some stuff up. We got to work on some stuff. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for having me on the post show tonight. It was fun. Like I said, I'm available pretty much all the time. If I want to jump in, I'll jump in. Like I said, I'm just burnt out this week, so my watch.
Next time I need Bearded Amanda, I'm gonna make the call.
I'm in. I'll be there. But for now, appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Go ahead and follow everything. And I won't be here next week, but you can find Mr. DC here next week for the NXT Post Show. I'll be here on Thursday for the Bodyslam podcast that I do with Mr. Cassidy Haynes around 1:30 Eastern, depending, give or take, on when we get home and everything. And then I'll probably be here Saturday for Night of Champions, watch along. But for now, much love to y'all. Y'all take it easy. Peace.